Most of us can probably agree that we do not like being poked, especially with needles. However, we can also probably agree that we like even less the risk of becoming disfigured or deadly ill with a preventable disease, or worst of all, dying of an easily preventable disease. A somewhat simple action in the form of a shot or vaccine can provide immunity to and protection from diseases that could otherwise kill or disfigure us, as they did to many others in the past, especially before the creation of vaccines and the protection that they provide. Diseases that we once thought of as simply problems of the past, are issues that had only relevance in third world countries or even nearly eradicated, are making an alarming comeback. Studies have contributed to these new outbreaks to low vaccination rates, putting more people needlessly and directly at risk. Aside from being a mom who watched the devastating effects and suffering eventually leading to the death a vaccine-preventable disease had on my baby girl Savannah, who was still too young to be vaccinated. I'm also a mom who has vaccinated both myself and my living children, and has also educated myself extensively on the subject of vaccines in hopes of preventing the same tragedy from affecting others. We are going to explore the benefits of vaccination and the potential consequences of not doing so. We can start with looking at the problem that we face, which is when there are gaps in protection, such as clusters of people whom refuse to vaccinate. Those who are most vulnerable, such as those too young to be vaccinated, or those who cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons, are put at risk of many preventable contagious diseases, with the community as a whole being compromised as well. Think of it as a circle or a chain of protection, if you will. When people refuse to vaccinate, not only are they putting themselves in danger, they are willingly making a break in that circle or chain. Some groups, which are commonly called anti-vax groups or anti-vaxxers, have aimed to scare others out of vaccinating with accusations that vaccines such as the MMR or measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine cause autism. They do this in several ways, one of which is by citing a now retracted study by Dr. Andrew Wakefield that has not only been disproven several times through various other regulated studies, but was actually found to be entirely fraudulent. Another way these groups try to accomplish this goal is they make the claim that vaccines contain toxic substances that should not be injected to one's body. These claims can be laid to rest through review of the FDA's website, which relays that there are a variety of safety tests and protocols vaccine makers must go through, as well as safety tests and following by the FDA. Further, there have been claims that vaccine causes diseases they prevent against. This fear can be eased by the knowledge that the antigens or parts of the virus that the vaccines contain are either weakened or dead, providing enough immune response to protect against but not cause the diseases. The issue then is that even if as little as 10% of any given population choose not to get vaccinated, the disease can gain a foothold and spread, causing an epidemic like the one declared in California in 2010, where they had over 6,000 confirmed cases of a vaccine-preventable disease called pertussis reported, also known as whooping cough, during which 10 infants died of the disease. Now, 10 may sound like a low number, but when you imagine what those 10 sons of parents have lived through, and then consider that it could have all been prevented, 10 becomes a very high number, an unacceptably high number, and that is just the deaths in one state. Looking just here at the Hermiston area, where I live, and many of you do as well, we have a population of roughly 16,000. 10% of that would be 1,600, which is the same as saying 1,600 potential footholds for the spread of these diseases. 1,600 walking time bombs just waiting to contract a disease and spread it to others. There is something to be done, however. Through the use of easily obtained vaccines, we can take a proud stand and refuse to allow the unnecessary and preventable death, disfigurement, and infection of others, especially when the knowledge of vaccines and their life-saving benefits is so readily available. The CDC states, disease prevention is the key to public health. It is always better to prevent a disease than to treat it. Vaccines prevent disease in the people who receive them and protect those who come into contact with unvaccinated individuals. To learn more about your protection or get up to date on your vaccines, you can speak to your family doctor or call the Hermiston Health Department at 541-567-3113, where they are open Thursdays and Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with walk-in times as well. Or, if you're in the Pendleton area, the Pendleton Health Department at 541-278-5432, open Mondays and Tuesdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., with walk-in times and additional hours on Wednesdays. Appointments are also available. Next, picture a world where everyone together taking this one simple step helps to prevent more senseless preventable diseases and deaths, specifically the deaths of children. Without action, these outbreaks are going to turn to epidemics and cost innocent lives more often. The next person infected could be your child, your family member, someone that you love, or even perhaps yourself. You can change that. Vaccinate yourself and spread the word to those that you care about. The skepticsdictionary.com shares that immunization can be credited with saving approximately 9 million lives a year worldwide. A further 16 million deaths a year could be prevented if effective vaccines were deployed against all potentially vaccine-preventable diseases. One of those 9 million lives could be yours. Help prevent needless tragedy and suffering and say yes to life-saving and easily obtainable vaccines. Thank you.